Good morning. Welcome again to Morning Devotions. Thank you again for our time together. Please don't forget Revival Nights at South Campus on Wednesday night and Thursday night. Please make arrangements to be there. Right now, let's go back to the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 8. Tomorrow I'm going to do a portion from 2 Corinthians 9. We're going to talk about giving. Paul says, beginning in verse 1, "And now, brothers, we want you to know about the grace that God has given the Macedonian churches." These are the poorest churches in the poorest province of the Roman Empire. "Out of the most severe trial, their overflowing joy and their extreme poverty welled up in rich generosity. For I testified that they gave as much as they were able, and even beyond their ability. Entirely on their own, they urgently pleaded with us for the privilege of sharing in this service to the saints." Now, would you look at that? I mean, I could preach for 3 hours on that passage. But please draw some encouragement from here. First of all, Paul says, listen, giving is done by grace. You are never going to get generosity in your heart. You're always going to be selfish until grace flows to your life. As God lets His grace flow to your life, generosity will begin to flow. And when generosity flows, then the great harvest flows. So sowing is done by grace. Sowing flows from desire. They desired to do this. You can't force people to give. Never in my life have I gone around and visited people in their home to remind them of their tithe, or visited them in their home to remind them of their pledges. Never in my life have I sent people a letter reminding them of their vows. Giving has to flow from a desire. This is something you want to do. And these people, thirdly, saw giving as a privilege. It was a privilege in verse 4 for them to be able to give. Not only did they have a desire, but they saw it as a privilege. Now, when you begin to get this kind of an attitude in your life, prosperity is coming your way. Because once your heart changes, once grace flows to your heart and you begin to have this desire to give and you begin to see giving as a privilege, not as well, I got to pay my dues at church. Oh, the church just wants money. Oh, once you get rid of those funky attitudes and your heart is right, giving is a privilege. I desire to give. Now you've got great days ahead.